and welcome back to my channel, Drunk Crafts with Paige. I am Paige, and this week I am drinking a Moscow Mule. It's not cider, but I guess it's really not that different from what I usually am drinking, but I tried for you guys. This week we are going to be testing out a technique I saw on TikTok, and I'm sure there are people watching this that think she is too old to be on TikTok. And you're right, I'm really just mostly on it for my stepdaughter, but I did see this technique on how to create a marbled appearance in your resin. Typically when people do this, it's involving different shades of resin and poured in a strategic manner to create a marbling effect. This technique, however, involves alcohol ink, which for someone who has really not tried out the marbling thing with resin, this might be easier for me. So I'm curious to know if this technique actually works, or is it just kind of a flop? I don't know, but we shall see. And if you are interested in learning as well, please continue watching. Black cats are in the same realm as our craft this week. Making moons. We'll make them spoopy moons. I wanted to test out this technique using our moon mold. I have a silicone set of moons that we are going to be testing out this technique with, and we are also going to be using gold metallic alcohol ink. So a lot of the stuff that we're going to be needing is very similar to what we use for alcohol ink art, minus the paper, because we're going to be using this mold. So let's see if this thing works. Now this marble technique involves putting alcohol ink directly into our silicone molds. So we're basically going to be applying it and spreading it around like we do with our normal alcohol ink art. I'm gonna have my isopropyl alcohol. We are going to apply that with our little pipette and use the heat gun to move it around and let that dry before adding any resin. So I'm very curious to see what results we will get from doing it this way rather than combining different colored resins. So I'm shaking up my gold alcohol ink first. I'm going to apply some alcohol first, then put some daubs of the alcohol ink in it, and then kind of move it around with my heat gun. Well, as far as marbling goes, I think this looks pretty cool. I might blend this area out a bit more, but I'm basically going to do the same technique to all of our other moons in this mold. It's pretty tricky to try to maneuver the ink and the alcohol around this very, very skinny moon. That one probably won't turn out as like marbly looking, but now once the alcohol is fully dry in these molds, we're gonna go ahead and add our resin. I have my resin all mixed up, and I'm gonna go ahead and add some mica powder. This one is just called Pearl, and I'm actually maybe gonna use some white alcohol ink as well, just to give our resin a really nice white appearance, and that's gonna make this gold marbling really pop. Well, now we're just gonna go ahead and let our resin cure and we're gonna pop it out once it is to see if this method of marbling actually works. It has been 24 hours, and so now it is time for the moment of truth. Did this method actually work and provide us with a super cool marbling effect? Or did it all just blend together and give us, oh, maybe it would still look pretty, I don't know. But let us go ahead and demold our very first one, our big circle. All right, let's flip it over. Ooh! Well, there it is for the big circle. Apparently my table is not level because it's a bit crooked. But let us go ahead and demold our other moons. Wow, how beautiful. I did mention with the skinnier moon that it got increasingly more difficult to kind of marbleize them with how skinny it is. And you can see with the light reflecting that they didn't really like blend or move around a whole lot. I guess we've got a bit more spots. But I would say this method is an overall success. These are so cool. And now that I know that this method works, we are gonna have to make 3 more of these crescent moons so we have the full set. So once I was done with my resin and I had a full set of moons, which means I had one big full moon in the center and then crescent moons going out on either side, I took them all and made a giant marbled moon piece. I took a large piece of driftwood, drilled in some holes, used some screw eye hooks, some jump rings, a lot of techniques very similar to when we made some necklaces, and I created this giant moon piece that I'm going to try to show you guys. They're all swinging. Here it is. And like I said, it's got the moon, the full moon in the center, and then crescent moons going out on either side. And here's my big old piece of driftwood that just has some screws and chain attached to it. This was really not a difficult process. Like I said, it was very similar to making our necklaces, but it did take quite a bit because I had to use the chain and the jump rings and everything for every single moon that we made. But this piece, it's gorgeous and huge, and I have no idea where I want to hang it on my wall. But here are some up-close shots of this out in the natural light. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and really, if there are other TikTok crafting methods that you would like me to try, please drop them in the comment section below. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and check me out on my social media. Links are in the description box below. I'll see you guys all for the next video. Cheers!